Hello again, everyone. Edwin Lerner back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the October 28th, 2023 lunar eclipse in Taurus. Now, a lunar eclipse is like a full moon in astrology, but it can be much more powerful and intense. It may have life altering implications. The effects may be much more sustained and protracted. It could be a major turning point in one's life. This could manifest in exceptional, let's say, unrestrained, uninhibited unleashing of emotions. Being in Taurus, it may be due to persistent goading in some instances, or provocation that one has endured for a very long time. It may have to do with not being valued or appreciated. It could be an abysmal monetary situation. Maybe one becomes tired, exasperated, simply full of something, or a person, say, that is overly greedy, avaricious, or materialistic. Now, this can impact all collectively, but especially those that have a Taurus or a Cancer sun, moon, or ascendant. Now, Taurus, of course, because it's going to be in their sign, and Cancer, because the moon governs the zodiac sign Cancer, and Cancer is simply impacted strongly by all transits and phases of the moon. And this may play a role as to why the zodiac sign Cancer can be so fickle, moody, and temperamental. Now, if it makes a conjunction to one's sun, moon, or ascendant, it could be especially significant and intensified. There may be a greater propensity for accidents at this time. A car accident, may be attributed, to someone being in a hurry to collect money. There may be serious, accidents that don't involve cars as well. I mean, I don't think this is just exclusive to car accidents. It could be, some accident associated with gardening, farming, cultivation. It may, be more than just, accidentally, cutting someone on a gardening tool, considering this is a lunar eclipse. It may be something more serious. It could be, involving a lawnmower, a cut from a lawnmower. It might be, or well, I should say, a serious injury, say from the blade of a lawnmower, or say a foot getting caught in like a hopper, which is, something connected, to a, tractor, that has those blades that come from that auger, I believe. And it could also manifest in an accident that, causes more serious injury, say to the throat. I would say to the throat or neck area, because that's the areas, body parts anatomically connected with Taurus. Now, this could also be a very, a powerful ending, I mean, or culmination, of something. This is something where, this could be, it's being a lunar eclipse. It could be something that, has been, say an ending for, something that's been done for a very prolonged, protracted, or sustained time. It may have been something, where one showed a lot of steadfastness and dedication to. It could be a situation where, a person may have showed patience for a very prolonged time. It could be something that was really valued, or, or one was just not valued enough, and that could play a role as to why the person ends at, such as being in some, career, some business, working for somebody that didn't truly appreciate him or her, that didn't value the person enough. And it may have been something connected with self-esteem, where, in some cases could be where somebody had done things to diminish another's self-esteem, such as belittling, I could say that again, belittling a person unmercifully, as an example. Now, the lunar eclipse may be expressed in very powerful, revelations and unveilings. And being in Taurus, it could be, some kind of, financial manipulation that one had to endure, or they're finding out about it, I should say. Let's say, for example, if it makes, especially if it makes an adverse aspect to Pluto, because Pluto is connected with manipulation. And it could be something, connected with, greed, avarice, perversion, even depravity, that comes to light at this time. Let's say if this falls in the first house, it could be, some revelation of the self where one, becomes more aware and cognizant. It could be of being, overly sensual, doing things, indulging, in pleasure taking, matters, which would be which would be taking precedence over virtually everything else, being more aware that those things are taking priority over things that may be of more significance to the person. It could be, in some cases, many may become aware or cognizant of something that of a monetary nature that may impact them for a sustained time. It could be, for example, a government decision, which is a payment for disability, or some inheritance, as an example. I mean, let's say if this falls in the eighth house, especially, that's the house of inheritance. That could be, that's one way it could manifest. It could be something where money had been hidden for some time from an individual that comes to light. I'd say especially if this falls in the 8th or 12th house in one's natal chart. Now, a lunar eclipse can manifest in becoming, again, being really tired, full, exasperated of something. It could be where one has had enough of something, and again, it could be something connected with the monetary situation, or maybe a monotonous existence where one was living too timidly. If this is making a conjunction to one's sun, it may really impact, as far as that person's life goes, and more of a realization of how one was living his or her life and not valuing the self enough, even in some cases. Now, another thing we got to keep in mind, okay, is that in some cases this could manifest in the end of, it could be a Taurus career, especially if this falls in the second, sixth, or 10th house in one's chart. I would consider those the money houses, those are the job money houses in astrology. And it could be the end of somebody, having a position as a stockbroker, a pawnbroker, something with finance, banking, gardening, cultivation, geology, an appraiser, somebody that works in carpet laying. And it may just have simply been a position where somebody showed a lot of persistence, loyalty, and steadfastness to, where one just wasn't valued enough. Now, another thing, again, it's important to look at the house this falls in, as this could impact how it affects you. Now, this is going to, in my case, it's going to fall in my 12th house. Now, this could manifest in a number of ways. Now, I'm hoping this, doesn't signify the ending of something. Full moons could be about culminations and endings. An ending of something I've shown a lot of persistence, loyalty, and dedication to, in solitude and seclusion. The loyalty is the Taurus, solitude and seclusion, the 12th house. And it could involve the metaphysical, which is the 12th house, which includes astrology. Now, could also be a revelation of something that was monetary that was hidden. That may be something auspicious if that's the case for me. And it could be something, or maybe just understanding and being aware of maybe somebody that was very greedy and avaricious that really wasn't my friend, was truly a hidden adversary, as some examples. Now, if this falls, especially, I'd say, in the first or sixth house in one's natal chart, it could be a revelation or unveiling of a Taurus health-related issue. It could be, something more serious than, if this were to be, a regular full moon or a super moon even. It could be something serious with the neck, the throat, the thyroid, or esophagus. It could be something that impacts, say, the vocal cords or the voice. And one example, let's say as far as possible injury sustained, it could be something like a herniated disc in one's neck, which requires a surgical procedure. Another example could be a serious issue that requires surgery. Myringotomy, as an example, that's when they drain, the excess fluid out of one's ear. As many of you may know, I have Taurus rising, and I had that surgery. It's back in like 1977, I think. Um, it's also important to look at the aspects this makes to points in one's chart, as this could impact how it affects you. This is going to actually make an inconjunct aspect to my natal Uranus and Libra. Now, inconjuncts in astrology can often be about adjustments. It could indicate too much or too little of something. It could be, in this case, being too much stubbornly, which is Taurus, being attached to solitude and seclusion, which is the 12th house, as opposed to not expressing enough intellectual sociability, which is Libra. And really in that daily routine, which is, really, which is the 6th house. And it could be, and also, doing so on social media, which is Uranus, and the internet is Uranus. And another thing, it could be also another way this may be expressed for me. It could be too much of, the focus or too little focus on that need for freedom, which is Uranus, from the monetary situation, which is Taurus. That could be limiting, which is the 12th house. Now, and it could also be, maybe I'm not putting enough emphasis on that. Now, it could also be a conflict between doing what's safe, comfortable, predictable, even monotonous, which is Taurus, and versus a, more of a need, we could say, for, really just having, something, unique, need to do something unique and different, which is Uranus. And the key is to find equilibrium and balance between the two. Now, the lunar eclipse is going to fall at 5 degrees Taurus. Now, as far as Sabian symbols go, this can be expressed, it could be in the discovery of a person being more cerebral and clever than he or she even realized, a person that may have had to face many roadblocks in order to gain notoriety and recognition. And it could be, this degree may also increase the propensity of some accident. Now, accidents can already, they could be prevalent given that this is falling on a lunar eclipse. Now, this degree may even increase the proclivity for accidents. Now, this degree, though, can be auspicious for those that may have felt alone and desolate, and to do something that is group related. It could be something where, a person that had been dominated by introversion may be able to come out of their shell, so to speak, and engage in group related activities, ingratiating themselves in groups, and be able, and it may be done through some, group, club, or organization, and it could be as a means to be more sociable. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Leonard saying stay well.